What's up, y'all? Welcome to another review by Ryan. A very happy Monday to all of you. It is Monday, September 26th, and I hope you all are doing well wherever you're at in the world at the time you find this reaction. In today's episode, we are saying goodbye to the second season of Classroom of the Elite. The title of today's season finale episode, episode 13, is The Worst Enemy You Can Meet Will Always Be Yourself. And no truer words could be said. I actually do agree with that statement. I really do. But in the last episode, we were treated to an ass whipping of the century. So let me and while I said in the last episode, I did leave wanting maybe just a little more brutality, I can confidently say it was the most enjoyable episode of the entire show up to this point. Not just the season, the entire show. We have watched the revelations of really 2 seasons lead up to this monumental moment, seeing Ruin put in his place and seeing really all of his little cronies in Class 1C get put in their place. And I think that the great facial reorganization that transpired, we all can agree, was very enjoyable to see on screen. And above all, we got to see all of that transpire while seeing Aikanoji not give a damn about anything he was doing. It was a drag. He really just wanted to be able to walk up in there and be like, hey, I'm here for Kay. Let me get her. I'm about to be out of here. Don't have to worry about nothing. But my man knew he was going to have to walk in there and choose violence because he already knew what they were about. And he had no enjoyment from that violence. And, you know, it's crazy how as smart as people like Kyoushitsu might think they are, and as smart as someone like Ruin might be, and as smart as a lot of people feel they may be, they seem to be just very stupid when it comes to dealing with this man. Everyone in the grand scheme of things has never even remotely been a threat to him. But he does get annoyed when he has to put in more effort than he wants to. And I can assure you that entire last fight, he had nothing but grand annoyance about it. But putting aside the fight, though, last episode was definitely great. We got to see, we definitely got to see another bonding moment at the end of the episode with Kay. Obviously she was upset that she realized she had been used the whole time because, again, as I said, I felt when I made the comment that I felt he did this both to protect her and also to test her. And I know that when I said that there were a few that were like, well, I don't think someone protecting someone would throw her into the lion's den, but in a way, this needed to happen in order to ensure that they would not fuck with her again. And that's why I say that I feel that this was done to protect her. Maybe not at that initial moment, because he already knew that that everyone was closing in way too quickly, and obviously she was going to be a target. But you can't not agree that now that this has been set in motion, that no, Aikanoji's about that life. I don't think we're going to have to worry about too much from them anytime soon. We might have to worry about the little fly that's called Kyoushitsu and maybe some other members in the coming season. But at least from Ruin's standpoint, he has learned what true fear is, and we're not going to have to worry about all those shenanigans anymore as we move into the end of this season and as we prepare for the 3rd season. So there's not really much more to say going into this final episode that I didn't say last episode. I was very pleased with everything we got. Obviously, they saved all the animation for that fight sequence. The fight sequence was absolutely superb, and I just can't wait to see what the results of that is going to be in this episode, and where do we go from here. So the last thing I want to say before we jump into the episode is, of course, how the show is doing. Since this is our last episode, this will be our last check-in on the ratings. Obviously, I'm doing this video a little later than I was planning to today, so ratings have well fed into my anime list, but as of right now, we do have a collective score of 8.20 out of 10, with almost 100,000 users casting their votes. So the show has easily surpassed this first season show, and I will agree that this was definitely a considerably better season than the first season. And then, of course, with the rankings on the popularity boards, Anime Corner and Anime Trending, Classroom of the Elite commanded the top. Oh man, no one could deny that after that last episode we weren't going to see it command the top, but it absolutely commanded the top. And we end off the final ratings for these 2 boards with Classroom of the Elite ultimately being in the #1 spot. And, you know, in a way, I guess you could say it was absolutely well-deserved. So we're going to go ahead and get this reaction started. Again, the title of the finale episode, episode 13, is "The Worst Enemy You Can Meet Will Always Be Yourself." So let's go ahead, get the video up here. And let's get this season finale started in 3, 2, 1. What a season. What an episode last week was, but really what a season. This season really picked up steam as we got to the second half. My dude. It would have spared you from what happened today. Did this man really go into regrets? He really had regret after that ass whipping. Dang. Ain't opening the door? Where'd he go? Away. That man got... Oh, you better be happy the swelling went down on your face. Dang. Y'all got tore up. Hell yeah. Hold on, is he really dropping out? Yo! He really is dropping out! Girl, you need to follow a new person. If you could. Yep. And he was put in his place. Dang, ran that man away from school. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Did he actually really care about his people to an extent? I guess he did. He's like, yes. There's still a use for you yet. Hey, you got all my respect afterward. Yes, he did. Oh yeah, girl, you are completely head over heels now. It is. Yes. Yes, yes, yes! Oh my girl. What a 180. I'm so happy I didn't completely not dislike you in the first season. Because you alright. You were definitely alright. Man. Kushida. It was so nice seeing you put in your place too. Too bad you're still at the school though. But I guess there's a use for you too. What? Oh, we almost said his first name. Secrets of success. Cause my girl out here trying to go on a date. Yeah, about that relationship. Yo, my girl's sitting here about to take her shot. Yo, she made a whole plan. Bro, you got a whole list in play. Wow. Wow. That's a lot going on. Bruh. And then she gonna mess with her hair. On Christmas. On Christmas. My girl. He's like, why not? Oh, man. Yo. I mean, this is true. Being that your relationship wasn't real. Oh, look at you being deep. I'm so proud of you. Nani? With the fake boyfriend? Okay. We'll go with that. I mean, he's not there for romance, I can assure you that much. But my girl Sato, my goodness. Oh? 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 Look at the call! Oh. Oh, wow. Kay is not happy. Damn, rude. Yeah, but it's probably not the way that you... I can assure you that's not what it is at all, my girl. And it's possible. Aww. This girl. He's assembling all the tools. Look at this. That's right. 'Cause that was the promise. Yeah. Yeah. See? End up being alright. I mean, I agree with that. You're already on a good path forward now, so. He's like, bruh. Get the hell up out of here. Kyoushitsu, I swear, I still have like for her, even though she's such a little spawn of Satan. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. Wow, he even spared him. Wow. Wow, he spared everybody. Oh. Hey, at least he's humble enough to understand it. He doesn't stand a chance against him anymore. Absolutely not. Yes, it does. Yes, indeed. Oh, I can assure you he knows that we have to deal with her. No. Hey! So he is going to go after her now. It's time. Even if that means it messes the class up temporarily. Because, and I've been saying this because we are going to have to deal with Kyoushitsu. She's dumb as rocks, but we do have to deal with her. She is a... I'm not going to lie. I like Sato. I do. Not as much as Kay. But we'll see. And note that he will not smile once during this date. She always separates from his arm when she sees him. And that's always been something she's done, even when just in the hall. Yeah. Also, this would help Sato feel a lot more comfortable, which is why she bought the idea up to begin with. He's like, this just became a drag. She just continues to stare at her boo. This girl. Oh man. Yeah, they are perfect. Mm. It has to be rough being that Kay understands a lot more about him than anyone else around here. Oh. Oh, that's right, because she's going to try to ask him out. They absolutely do not. I don't know what aura you're talking about, but okay. Uh-oh. I told you he won't go smile. What did you expect? When you ever seen this dude smile to start with? And there are some people just in general that don't smile a lot either, so. Oh, man! You didn't need... Wow! Wow! Sato, you a good girl, but you were in a loser. Dang. Dang. I don't think you want that answer. This... I had to drink water on that one. But I mean, this is true too, being what he struggled through. It's not your fault, my girl. My man, Aikinoji, ruining people's hearts by the second. These two are something else. Unsuitable substitute. Wow. Oh, of course she got this man a present. Of course she did. She remembered his birthday. Man, this girl is great. Wait, look at this. Oh. Listen, it's the thought that counts. The consideration. He was. Walking back with her. This will do. Again. And she knows that she's a tool, but you know, I definitely believe it's going to evolve beyond that one day. Yeah, because even though she's an effective pawn to you, hey, he's now okay, I'm fine with that because he's now starting to question if that's going to continue or will ever change. This was very different from how he ended the first season with Horikita, where he was like, I never saw you as an ally. Very big difference between the two. Kay, you're in a great place and you are having an influence on him. I assure you. It may not look that way, but you're having an influence. I'm okay with that. But good gracious, my man had to wreck Sato. Oh my goodness. Oh, there's a minute left? Oh, there's a minute left. What's about to happen? Oh, is it time for them to interact more now? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh man, I've been waiting for her for a minute now for them to actually talk fully. All right, you better be careful. The boss genius? Oh, you better be careful. Oh, you said some bold words. That's what we want to. That's where we want to go this soon. That's where we want to go. Okay. Wow. All right. So let's go ahead and just talk a little bit about the finale real quick, and we'll start right there. So I've been waiting, especially since her father is the chairman of the university of this institution of elite higher education. We knew that inevitably she was going to make her full appearance, and I kind of figured that she would be a headliner for season 3, and it looks like that is going to be the case now. So a lot of interesting stuff there, and that was a very bold statement saying that she's going to bury Ayakanoji. And declare him a false genius at that, which would imply that she believes that she is more of a genius than he is. So she better be careful. But see, unlike Ruin, she don't have to worry about him just snapping off because he has ways of getting back at people without actually having to snap off at them and go, you know, lunging a kick at him and everything and stuff. So, very interesting choice of words though. Clearly she doesn't care about her existence. Guess we'll find out in season 3. But putting that aside, this was a nice, wholesome, more or less wholesome episode to wrap up this season, and you definitely got to see that the seeds of doubt, or not so much the seeds of doubt, but you got to see a stir of his personality start to happen. He questioned the fact that he knows he sees everyone as nothing but pawns, especially due to his experience in the White Room and his experience of everything leading up to this moment in time. But Kay is the first person that has actually, at least to us, visually triggered a response other than just straight toolship. So in the first season, again, we saw at the end of the episode the conversation between Hodakita and Ayakanoji, and he very clearly declared, girl, I ain't never seen you work nothing for nothing, but I'm going to continue moving you along in the direction that I need to move you to so that I can get you to Class A and to get all y'all to Class A, but I'm not really worried about any of that. Kay is a different person. She's a different beast, and he's actually starting to wonder if something different might formulate. He doesn't know this yet, and obviously we as the viewers, you know, we don't know 100% if that's going to be, but as a non-source material reader, I will say I do believe Kay is going to be the one to break him, like in a positive way. I believe that she is going to help direct him in a way beyond just how his life is going right now, and that when it comes down to it, we're going to get to a point where he's still going to more or less look at everyone as nothing but tools, but he's going to actually look at her as less of a pawn and more as an actual person. And we know that if he does start to look at her as a person with feelings and emotions, that ultimately that could lead to a deeper bond, which could hypothetically lead to a relationship. So, you know, everything is now in motion to take us in that direction, but we also don't know a lot. And remember, there's still a lot that we don't know about Ayakanoji. There's a lot we don't know about all of his experiences in the White Room, leading to him enrolling in this institution of higher education and him going down the path that he is. I did expect that Ruin was going to try to abandon ship, and I also expected that if he didn't abandon ship, that ultimately Ayakanoji was going to see him as a very useful pawn. And again, Ruin even knows that he's not stupid because he was the mastermind and leader of his own class until this very embarrassing moment happened, and it looks like that he will now serve as the eyes and ears of Ayakanoji, while Ayakanoji does his best to get everyone to the next level. But it also looks like before we even deal with Furisu, we're going to have to deal with the snake in the room, the snake in our own class, which is going to be none other than Kyoushitsu. So Kyoushitsu is now, at least based on how he talked, is going to be a headliner again in the next episode, and I do believe that we're going to see her get further exposed to the entire class next season, and I absolutely cannot wait to see those revelations play out. And I gotta tell you, I'm very, very pleased with what we got, what was given to us on screen throughout this entire season. So I'm not going to repeat too much or rehash too much of what I've already said in my reactions. If you've been watching my other reactions, you know more or less how I feel up to this point. And I'll end this reaction by just simply saying that I got everything I possibly could have gotten out of this show, from everything that happened with the festival arc to all the way up to the sports festival arc, all the way up to this moment in time. You know, there's nothing more that I could have asked for out of this season. So with that said, we're going to jump straight into my final rating of the season. And so, as I've done in other shows that have ended this season, I have a 4-part breakdown. It will be 40% weight to story, 20% weight to storyboarding, 20% weight to music, and 20% weight to art/animation. So this, and for each of those categories, I will give them a letter grade of A through F, and then I will give a final score between 1 out of 10, indicating that a show was absolutely horrible, and 10 out of 10 being that it was a masterpiece. So the story, I do believe, was stronger than the first season. I would say, because I wasn't doing reactions at the time when the first season happened, so if I gave the first season, I would say I gave the first season a B-. And the reason I gave it a B- was because It did heat up quite a bit when they got to the island and they were going through the island arc. But there was quite a bit of a lull through the middle part that I felt was a bit of a weakness to the show, but it definitely picked up and it saw a lot of strengths as it got to the end. This season, I feel that we had stronger storytelling more consistently throughout multiple episodes, through at least more than 50% of the season. And that's a good thing. I feel that we definitely got a lot more, we got to deal a lot more with, you know, Ayakanoji dealing with all the different pieces around him. We got to obviously see him address his father, I don't know if that's actually his real father, if that's just someone that declares himself as a father. More information I'm sure we'll get in the third season. We got to see that, you know, the chairman of the university is related to Arisu, who has now made her own little declaration to Ayakanoji. And it would make sense that she would know about him, since the chairman is the one who wrote the recommendation to get him out of the White Room and to get him into this school. So we got to definitely start the process of unraveling that. And then, of course, we really got monumental showdowns between Kushida and Ruin, who, wow, they were definitely the strongest parts of this season, and I was just glowing this entire second half of the season. So I do believe that the writing was well. I believe that they did a great job of having me on the edge of my seat, having me excited to see what was next. And so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and give the story here a B+. And actually, I'm going to correct my story rating for the first season. I'm going to say I gave the first season a C+. But I'm going to give this second season a B+. B as in Bravo plus. I do believe they did a great job of presenting this story. And really, when I think about it, I'm giving the first season a C+ solely on the grounds that it did take me a little more to really get engaged. But I have to acknowledge that that C+ is just because I understand it was more conservative as they set the premise of what this story was going to be about, and they wanted to kind of do it with a bit of a slow burn so that you could enjoy everything that happened this season. And so I give a lot of respect that that C+ is me acknowledging that was probably just them setting everything up. This was a much stronger season and a much stronger story that was shown to us, and so I think that a B+ is very warranted in this stage. And so with that said, I'm also going to give storyboarding a B+ also. Now, I believe that they put things in place that made the story very enjoyable. Things felt in context. We were obviously looking at things from many different people's minds, but ultimately looking at it from Ayakanoji's mind, who of course is our main guy here. And I believe they did a good job of arranging everything from these, you know, the sports festival to the Kushida arc, to unveiling what her past was about, and the fact that she really was just a batshit crazy individual to start with because she got gung-ho over getting accolades, all the way up to the final showdown with Ruin in Class 1C and everything that we got in this final episode. I think that they laid out visually the parts of the story where they needed to be, and while it wasn't 100% perfect, it was definitely more enjoyable than I enjoyed the layout of things in the first season. And so for that, it definitely earns a B+, and I think this was a very enjoyable thing to watch. Music, the music was good. And again, the music complemented the show very well. I'm going to say that it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but it was strong. And obviously, they used quite a bit of the soundtrack from the first season. And of course, I will give accolades to the opening and ending. Absolutely love the opening and ending to the second season. I'm not sure yet if I cared more about the first season than the second season, but I do need to factor in that the opening and ending were definitely bangers. I actually vibe to the ending song quite a bit when I'm just sitting here in the room and everything and stuff. So with that said, I'm going to give the music a B, a solid B. B as in Bravo. I think that the music definitely delivered what it needed to. It set the premise of everything that happened in the second season, and it was really good. It was really, really, really enjoyable. And last but not least, and this is where things get a little tricky, art/animation. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to clearly know and to be able to tell that they saved all the animation budget for the last 3 or 4 episodes. It's clear as day that they waited for the entire, after Kushida, the entire Ruin arc, to show us the animation that we knew could be here, that we expected throughout the show, but they gave us closer to the end of the show rather than giving it to us throughout. Now, I'm going to say this much. while there were parts of this, especially during the entire sports festival, especially the great running scene that happened, that weren't the greatest, the art and animation was not awful. It wasn't as bad as some people were making it out to be. I mean, it could be as bad as everything that's been in A Devil is a Part-Timer, which those of you who are watching Devil is a Part-Timer know that at no point this season has the art and animation actually been good. It's been decent at times, but at no point has it been good. I will say that most of the time, the art and animation was good. But obviously, a show like this is different. There's a lot of dialogue. And with shows that have heavy dialogue, they don't always translate to having the best animation and at times the best art. We saw during many parts of the first half of this show, mouths not being where they're supposed to be, weird facial expressions, either up close and especially far away. And while every show obviously doesn't spend as much budget on far away, because that's just a lot of money to do that type of animation consistently, there were some times in the first half of this season that it just wasn't excusable, that they should have known better, and they could have easily just at least carried the model over from a previous scene to that scene so that, you know, it didn't look all weird. There was even certain times that Ayakanoji's facial expressions, it was like he was smiling from a distance when obviously he wasn't. So, keeping that into consideration, I want to say that the second half was far stronger than the first half. I give the first half of the show a D+ for animation and art. I give the second half of the show, I'd say, especially carrying the last 2 episodes in the fight sequence, a solid B+. I thought it was really well done. So I'm going to round that average off, and I'm going to give the art and animation a B-. It wasn't a strong B, but it also wasn't a C to me either. I feel that they did it just to save money so they could really show that money where it was really going to matter to the fans, and they did an outstanding job with that, and I'm okay with that. Many shows do that where they save budget during certain parts, and then they really shoot the budget during other parts. And like I said, the woes with the animation was nowhere near as bad as it is in shows like Devil's a Part-Timer right now. So I am going to award the animation a B-. So as a recap, the story received a B+, the storyboarding received a B+, the music received a B, and the art/animation received a B-, leading us to the final score. And I want to say again that this show definitely delivered more on excitement, a lot more this second season than the first season. And I enjoyed both seasons, but I do want to give just a bit of an edge to the fact that they clearly put things in place to make us more excited about Ayakanoji's past, about his father showing up, about the fight that happened, and everything about Kushida that happened. It definitely was exciting watching these things come together. And with that said, I do want to award this season a 8.5 out of 10. I do believe, despite the woes that it had here and there with shaky issues with animation, the story was consistent from beginning to end this season. Now, I know that some of you source material readers may not agree with my 8.5. There were a lot of strong opinions from source material readers that there were many parts that were left out, and this is the way I look at it. Every anime that I've ever watched in my life has things that are left out. This is just the nature of the beast. Even the best show that I've watched this entire season, which is Made in Abyss, had to leave certain parts out. That's just the nature of the beast. When you have 12 to 13 episode shows, you're not able to pack everything in. Panels are going to be left out, and normally that's where the storyboarding comes into place. And the storyboarder's sole job is to take that story and to put the story into place for visual reference that would be the most captivating and the most looked forward to with the audience. And while I'm sure I'm going to go back and read and fill in the blanks in the source material, what was left out, I will probably still agree that they included everything that needed to be included in this season, and I'm satisfied. I, as a non-source reader, am satisfied. And I think that while the animation could have been better, because the animation was better, this would have easily gotten a 9. I do believe that it delivered everything it needed to deliver to me, and I'm really, really excited and looking forward to season 3, especially now that it looks like we're going to have 2 more showdowns, one between Kushida dealing with her once and for all, but even more important than that, Snake, dealing with why Arisu said what she said and seeing what plan she has in place from this point forward. So that is my final thoughts of the episode. Again, thank you so much for watching my reaction this last 13 weeks. It has been an absolute blast and a joy. If you did like the reactions, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And if you want to be one of the first to be notified when a new reaction becomes available, hit the bell icon. So as a reminder, season 3 is coming next year. I don't know if they announced the date just yet, but season 3 is coming. They will remember season 2 and season 3 were announced back to back, so we will not be waiting very long before we all see each other again for another wonderful season of Classroom of the Elite. So I hope you all had a blast this season. I hope you all enjoyed my reactions, and until the next reaction, catch you later.